Hey, my name's Eric, and I'm really sore. Alright, so let's jump into kind of week one. It's actually the first full week of review. I imagine these are going to be a little bit shorter in nature than the very first video that's 10 minutes long, so we'll keep this pretty brief. Overall thoughts and feelings of how the first week went. Pretty good, all things considered. I met most of the goals. We'll talk through a little bit more of the specifics here in a second, but nailed a lot of the fitness that I was looking for, macros as well, the dieting part. That part was interesting purely from a food preparation level. I mean, I've done certain levels of meal prep in the past. However, this took a couple hours and a good bit of time. So bit of an adjustment there, measuring it all out, putting it into MyFitnessPal. But with all that behind me, I really feel like I've probably gotten a bulk of the hard part out of the way. Now it's just sticking with it and kind of hanging with the regiment, if you will. I mentioned at the start of the video that I am sore, and that's the truth of it. I've been, as I mentioned, kind of splitting up jiu-jitsu and going into the gym. So it's usually around Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday that I'm hitting the gym. And, you know, I got to say, the first chest day, yeah, I felt it here and there. First back day, biceps, you know, we're kind of hurting. But that leg day did me in. And I know I can't skip it any longer, but man, I was fumbling down some stairs and kind of unable to walk around normally. Overall, though, energy levels are doing good. I mean, it could be that I'm just kind of fresh into the cycle and still motivated, you know, but it also could be, you know, I'm eating really clean. I've cut out the alcohol, and, you know, maybe the creatine's helping a little bit too energy-wise. I felt like I've had a full tank most of my gym sessions, especially in jiu-jitsu. I've got a lot more cardio and things going for me. Again, it's only been, you know, this is a week and some change forward. I'll be doing week 2. It's kind of a Monday to Monday thing. So as far as week 1 is concerned, you know, I'm feeling pretty good about it. All right, so let's jump into the physique side of house. What you're seeing on the screen here is an update. You know, it's week 1 as opposed to week 0. I don't think a ton has changed. We could do some better lighting. However, I think what really went away was just some of that holiday bloat. Realistically, just getting active and getting, you know, some of the alcohol out of the system really did a lot for just getting rid of some of the just bloatedness that you see around. I will say, though, at the time of this recording, I had eaten lunch and things like that. So my weight actually went up quite a bit. Well, not in 1 week's time, 178 pounds. However, earlier that morning, I had also weighed it, and it was down to 176. So taking that with a little bit of grain of salt, I'm going to try to avoid eating lunch beforehand in the future. But yeah, overall statistics we're looking at here is 178 pounds, 14.4% body fat, which is only a very slight rise for increasing in weight a little bit, as well as their estimated, you know, body metabolism rate at 1,862 calories. These other things such as protein, bone mass, body water, all that, I'm not sure how much change, if any, that we'll see there, or if that's even, you know, relevant to include, but that's the kind of short and narrow of week 1 updates. Speaking of that basal metabolic rate, it says, you know, 1862, but if we're using more of kind of the watch features, right, it estimates actually on average for that week that I was right at around 2770. And if you remember, 2750 was kind of the estimate that I put in. So the estimated calories burned was pretty much spot on. Let's take a look at kind of the calories in, or my caloric intake that I had for the week. So our average there was around 2350. Which is, you know, not a lot under 2,500 per se. It's only 150 less, but on top of already 200, right, we're looking at around 350 to maybe 400 calories in deficit, which is fine, right? I'll lose more weight and maybe lose more fat along the way. But it may lead to some, you know, energy efficiency problems I'll have later if I feel fatigued or different muscle growth and things like that. I might need to kick that up and really try to get those extra calories. Additionally, in terms of my actual macros, my carbs were 210. My protein was also 210 average for this time period, and my average fat was 72. So if we're thinking about that in terms of a ratio, it's actually around 43% carbs, 43% protein, and 14% fat. Most people would think that's probably a good thing. I certainly thought, hey, I'm doing great. I'm kind of lower on the fat scale. However, fat is an important macro. It's one of the big three for a reason, and there's a reason I segmented it to 30%, right? It increases brain functions, it helps with hormone production and things of that nature. So I'm going to try to be more on top of that. I'd settle for even 25%, but 14% is just a little too low, and I'm missing out on some crucial elements there. So we may add a couple whole fat yogurts into the mix. Maybe our beef percentage, instead of 93% and 7%, lean and fat, maybe we go 90-10 or 85-15, something like that. So yeah, that's the overall update for this week. Truth be told, all things considered, I'm happy with meeting the diets, especially the carbs and protein macros, sticking with the fitness side of things, and overall kind of figuring out the meal prep and kind of getting those recipes in. Now I can avoid some of that rework in the future. But yeah, we're going to keep this short and quick. I will tune back in next week and give everyone an update, hopefully see some significant changes. Maybe the creatine will start doing its work. But thanks for watching, and see you all next time.